Madam, I will ask, madam. Welcome, sir, Dr. Sir. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ravindra has also unmuted himself. I request Ravi.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, Sundara, sir. Namaste, namaste, madam.
Namaste.
It's to be nice to be with this holistic health platform, and slowly the observation of the self and body also is taking place in the morning session. So it is all related as well as the participation with this the volunteer also. So a lot of changes with the self and body is taking place, and it's always be with Sundara sir to guide the physical health and holistic health particularly. So as I am staying in the village area, actually this is a lot of participation with this nature is also being observed. So particularly just like this is the particularly the cold has been felt now. So when the self part is taken care, and that is the observation that self when is guiding the self, even whatever cold is there, it is not being felt, but this whenever the self is not guiding, maybe with a small cold, it is feeling very to observe, to use comfort and to be in the bed. So this is the great part of the day, everyday activities, because now I have shifted to my village, where my father every day he get up at 5 and he take bath at 5. So he's age of 87. So every day he has to bath. He advised him not to take bath. But at 5:30, the normal water is coming from my boring from the village. It's like hot water. So it's a great experience. And I see that this time also the people I experienced. Previously I was at both, and now it is my village. So it is a great session to be with the cow, and I stay particularly.
Am I having problem in listening to him, or
No.
his voice is breaking?
Voice is breaking actually.
Ji bhai. Anybody if wants to talk to sir, you may raise your hand please, so that I can provide the mic. Already a few members are having mic if they want to say something. Discuss something with sir. Otherwise, sir will start with today's lecture. Today's discussion, I should say. He'll be telling us about our health, basic things.
So I invite all the participants, like the previous participant was speaking about understanding the reality and observing it through self. And once you observe everything through self and how it is affecting your body, and if you become conscious and more aware of what's happening inside your body, you'll be able to take better decisions, better actions to keep both your body and self very strong and in control. Okay. So my question to all the participants: what are the basic things we need to understand about our health, without which we will not be able to survive on this planet for even few days? What are those basic requirements, basic needs, without which we will not be able to survive on this planet? You can just type in your chat window. What are the most important things we need, not for a healthy life, but at least to survive, without which we can't even live? What are those basic things? You can just type in the chat window. Most basic needs. Once we identify those needs, we will see whether these things are being fulfilled properly or not. Devdas B. Lata, Dr. Devdas B. Lata wrote, food and water. Yeah. And Ravindra Kumarji wrote, air, water, food and clothing. Yeah. Even without clothes also, maybe we will be able to survive for a few days. Pure air, water, healthy food. Yes. One more thing is missing, without which we will not be able to live for even 10 days. Apart from air, water, and food, there is one more thing without which we will not be able to survive even for 10 days. What is the fourth one? Most basic need. In fact, it is called one of the pillars of life, foundation of life. A good health is required, but without good health also people will live for years. There is one more thing without which we will not be able to survive for even 10 days. Apart from air, water, and food. There is a fourth one, which is also a basic requirement. With bad attitude also people live. Ashutoshji, I'm speaking about the basic requirements of our body, let us say, without which body will not be able to survive. Air, water, food, and one more thing. Okay. Yeah, okay. So without food, we will be able to survive for at least 45 days. Without water also, we will be survive for some number of days. Without air, maybe we will be able to survive for a few minutes. And without sleep, we will not be able to survive beyond 10 or 11 days. So sleep is also a very fundamental requirement for the survival of our body. Good health, there are so many other requirements, but basic requirements without which we will not be able to survive on this, proper rest or sleep, whatever it is. So sleep is the most important thing which will shape our health. So let us see if we are actually fulfilling these needs properly: air, water, food, and sleep. So because we want you to understand the principles behind intake of air, intake of water, intake of all these things. We need to understand the principles. I will not prescribe how much of food you should eat, how much of sleep you should get, how much of water you should drink. I will not prescribe. I will not give you a prescription. I will just make you understand the principles, because these principles are universal for all. Today we will discuss about the guidelines. In the previous session we have spoken about those principles which will make us, which are the foundation for our own life. And then these guidelines, how to apply these principles in our life, may vary. Principles are universal for all, for everyone. Everyone needs to eat good food. Everyone needs to eat in time, sleep in time, get up in time, do some physical activity, eat healthy food, keep their mind in a peaceful state. All these things are universal, right? And principles like self is the one which guides our body. Self takes care of the body. Body is a material unit. Self is a conscious unit. Body follows the laws of nature. Body has no say in the outcome of any activity. Self is having that ability to choose that activity and control the outcome. So all these things are universal for every one of us, wherever we live. They all are universal. But when we try to apply these principles in our life, We need certain guidelines which may vary according to the age of the person, according to the body type or constitution of the person. No, and these principles vary from time to time. Even in a day, morning it might be different, afternoon it might be different, night it might be different. They may vary from season to season according to our own habit and habitat, the kind of work we do. So many factors influence how we apply these principles in our own life. So today we will speak about these things. As I've told you, food is one of the most basic requirements without which we will not be able to survive. So how much food do we need? And how to take that food, when to take that food, and what to take, what is the right food for our own body constitution, for this season, for my present situation, for the work which I do. All these things matter. What should I take, what should not be chosen, what type of food, what are the types of food, how many types of food are there. And there are so many other things like compatibility. One glass of orange juice, if I drink, it will give me a lot of strength and nourishment. I feel refreshed. The same glass of orange juice will, cause some kind of heartburn, acidity to another person. So it varies from person to person. It's not the orange juice which is right or wrong. The food should be compatible with my own body type, my own age, my own habit, my own habitat. And when I mix 2-3 types of food items, they should be compatible with each other. So I need to understand the principles behind each and everything and diet guidelines to apply these principles in my day-to-day life. So do I know the right way of cooking? So cooking, there is not one way to cook all the items. There are so many different ways to cook different kinds of foods. So how do we cook in a right way so that we'll get all the nutrients and we will not disturb the digestive strength of the body? So these are the things which we need to understand as far as food is concerned. Similarly, water. So like when I ask you this question, how much water should we drink every day? What is your answer? What will you say? Or how much water do you think you need per day? How many liters of water is the right amount of water to consume? What is your opinion? Can someone write in the chat window? 3 to 4 liters, 5 liters. Okay. And while you are typing the thing, I think you should type to everyone so that everyone else can see. Only the host and panelists will be able to see when you type correctly and press the enter button. You need to choose everyone. Now only I can see. Yeah. So now in the chat window, the range is from 3 to 7 liters. And Ashutosh ji says it depends. Yeah. What are the factors? So it's not like everyone should drink 7 liters of water every day. No. So we need to understand how to decide the quantity of intake of water and the right way of drinking water, right time to drink water, right type of water which will make us healthy and types of waters which might make us unhealthy. Yeah, there are so many other factors: age, environment, our body constitution, season, everything. So when we know that water is essential, and when we know the principles behind the consumption of water, and when we also know the guidelines to implement these principles, we will be able to take this water in a right way to nourish ourselves, to strengthen ourselves, to keep ourselves healthy. Similarly, this is a question you must be able to answer right now after this corona pandemic, and people are running behind oxygen cylinders and oxygen concentrators. and people are constantly checking how much oxygen is there in their blood using this pulse oximeter. During the pandemic time, that is what everyone was doing. Measuring how much oxygen is needed for the sick person and purchasing oxygen, bringing it and putting it. So how much oxygen do we need? Any idea? Or how much we can take in? How much is our lung capacity? And how much actually we are using? How much lung capacity we are using actually? Can anyone give an idea how much air is needed and how much are we using? You know, lungs are the only organs inside our body which will float on water. Every other organ, if you put it in water, it will drown, whereas lungs will float on water. And these lungs, if you think because lungs are floating, they are like balloons, hollow balloons. No, they are not. There are so many folds and folds and folds of layers inside the lungs. If you open all these folds and spread them on the ground, it will cover a tennis ground. So vast is the thing inside the lungs. So these lungs, they have this lung capacity. They can hold 6 liters of air at any point of time. That is their lung capacity. That is the average lung capacity. And when we inhale through one breath, we can inhale, we can fill our lungs with 2.5 liters of air. That is our capacity to inhale air. But unfortunately, we are only taking less than half liter of air, less than 500 ml of air. Whereas we have the capacity to take 2.5 liters of air. So we are not training our lungs properly to take maximum quantity of oxygen so that energy production, tissue building, and so many other chemical reactions inside our body will take place in a right way. No one tells us the right way of inhaling and exhaling. What kind of practice we need to have so that regularly we will breathe in a right way. People after COVID, post-COVID, after coming back home with some oxygen concentrator, they start exploring the right way of breathing, because unless and until they breathe in a right way, they will not be able to get rid of these oxygen cylinders or oxygen concentrators. Now the occupational physiotherapists and physiotherapists who teach the breathing exercises, they teach the right way to breathe in and right way to breathe out so that the lungs will take in maximum oxygen, maximum air. So we need to understand how to do this. So what is the right way to do this and wrong way to do? And then again, sleep. As I was telling you, sleep is also a very essential part of our, daily intake, daily health schedule. Our lifestyle should include right amount of sleep suitable for our own age and work in the right time. Sleeping for 6 to 8 hours at any point of time is not, again, correct. Sleep is not something which will give simple rest. Sleep is something where you are taking rest and body is working in a wonderful way to rejuvenate you, to regenerate your cells, to revitalize your body, to produce energy, to build your tissues, to repair your cells. All these things happen if you sleep in the right way, in the right time, for the correct amount of time. And if you get proper sleep, that will enrich you like anything, and it will prepare you for the next day. So all these things we need to understand. So I will give you a few guidelines about health today, which are a part of Holistic Human Health course, and which these are some PPTs which we are preparing for faculty development program who are interested in taking this as taking this knowledge to the students For them, we are doing this faculty development program. In this, so we wanted to give you some guidelines. For example, when you know that the body is a material unit, and this material unit which we have, it is temporary in nature, it undergoes change. In fact, body is like a flowing river. We think that this body is fixed in time and space, like an idol. No, body is a flowing, constantly changing material unit. If you think our skeleton is like an iron frame inside which nothing changes, no. Even the hardest parts of the body, like bone and other parts, they continuously change. Cells inside those skeletal system also, they die, new cells get produced. So someone told that you can't step into the same water twice. The river is flowing. When you look at it, it seems like it is there only. But the water is continuously flowing. So you can't step into the same water twice. Similarly, our body cells, they continuously, they take birth, they perform their activity and they die. Continuously, old cells die, new cells get reproduced. And for this continuous tissue building, production of new cells, we need proper intake of food. So we need to have understanding of the right way of eating food. For example, this food intake might change from person to person, from time to time, from different stages of life, different kinds of food items we need to have when we are children, when we are teenagers, still growing. So we need more nurturing food. Because we need to become tall, our bones, they should become long, our body should attain its maximum strength and length and volume. So you need to have nurturing foods like grains, and more and more protein intake is needed to build the tissues. And even whatever food we eat, whether the food is nurturing food or cleansing food like fruits, vegetables, we need to understand that whatever food we eat, that should be whole food, natural food, as it is available in the nature, and slight processing to suit our own body's constitution. Over processing the food and over cooking the food, storing it for a long duration, all these things will bring about harmful changes inside the food, which will get translated to our own body, our own body's health. So it's very important to minimize the processing of the food, polishing the grains, removing the fiber, and eating it at any point of time, whether we are kids or middle age or old age people. We need to have wholesome food. And when we are a bit in the mid 40s and 50s, we need more and more cleansing foods, more fruits, more vegetables. And there is also a debate of what food is more important, raw food or cooked food. Raw food is something which is having minimal effect on our emotions, and it will not cause a lot of disturbance. And when you eat overcooked food, very spicy, very stimulating food, it will stimulate all the emotions. But sometimes even the raw food is so heavy that people with weak digestive strength will not be able to digest the raw food, sprouts and uncooked food. So again, it is important for us to understand our own digestive strength so that we will be able to choose the right food. Not exactly the food which is prescribed for everyone. We need to have a tailor-made food choice. And people have a long debate about vegetarian food versus non-vegetarian food. So we need to understand the human anatomy, the way in which our intestines are there, the length of the intestines, and the speed at which the non-vegetarian food travels through these intestines is very slow compared to vegetarian food, and the length is so long in human beings compared to animals which are carnivorous. Animals which eat meat, their length of the gut is so small that they eat, they digest, and they immediately evacuate, and they don't give time for fermentation and production of poisonous gases and acids and other chemicals. Whereas the gut in our body is so lengthy, and the food stays for a longer duration, particularly the non-vegetarian food, and it tends to decompose, ferment, and produce a lot of gases and other chemicals which might harm you, particularly if the digestive system is weak. Non-vegetarian food tends to do more damage. So it's very important for us to understand what is the kind of food which I should eat. Foods like nuts and seeds, they are nutritious, but they need to be soaked in water, otherwise you will not be able to digest them properly. The life in the dry fruits becomes alive when you soak them in water. So in old age, where there is no further growth of the length of bones will not increase, and you will not become taller, so protein requirement gets minimized. You need proteins, you need other vital nutrients also, but you need to have more of cleansing foods, and foods which give lot of nourishment, you really don't need that much, particularly when you're not having a lot of physical activity. So according to age, the food we take will differ. According to our constitution also, it will differ. If I am a Vata person, the kind of food I have to choose might differ from a Pitta person who is generally having the dominance of fire element inside Pitta, whereas the air element dominates the Vata. So the foods change. Vata people are more of cold and dry people. They need to have foods which are a bit warm and which oily. Snigdha ahara is more recommended for Vata people. Whereas the Pitta people, they are more hot food which brings down the temperature, brings cooling kind of food, not the food which is low in temperature, but food which will actually slows down the very high rate of metabolism inside Pitta people is important. And Kapha people, they tend to become dull and gain weight, so they need more stimulating food, more spices, food which is much lighter because they tend to gain weight, food which will increase and it will rev up the digestion, rev up the metabolism. Such kind of food items we need to choose, particularly for Kapha people. And of course, when there are combinations, again there will be combination of these food items, which we will go deeper when you go to the actual application part. We are just here discussing the guidelines. And these natural body processes, whatever things are happening inside the body, because body is a self-organized unit, and lots of processes happen inside the body. So we need to help these processes. We should not become an obstacle. We should not obstruct what's happening naturally. The repair part is happening, the cleansing part is happening, the nourishing part is happening, the rebuilding part is happening. We should not be a reason for disturbance in this natural harmony which is already there, because body is actually a self-organized unit. So this harmony is already there. So we should help the harmony stay like that, and we should make it become better instead of disturbing it. So what can we do? For example, there are so many things, like when you get up early in the morning. So in Ayurveda, there's a Ushah Panam. Drinking water early in the morning helps in cleansing the body, helps in regenerating each and every cell of the body. And the same water, if you drink just before eating food, it might harm you. It will dilute the digestive system, digestive juices. And if the same water is taken immediately after food, it will disturb the fat metabolism. It will promote accumulation of fat and brings about obesity. So while eating food, only a little sip of water is advised. So why do we need little sips of water? What it will do? All these things we need to understand. And proper intake of water in a judicious quantity. Some people think that water is very important. That's why I should drink a lot of water. They drink a lot of water. Even if the body doesn't demand. That in turn will put a lot of load on kidneys, and it will cause some serious damage if you are drinking water without a proper understanding of the requirements of the body. So, and there are so many cleansing processes happening inside our body. And during the morning time, when the body is trying to get rid of the toxins, and body is still not ready to take the nourishment during the breakfast time, if you try to feed the body is still trying to whatever it needs for the body, it has taken. Now it wants to remove the excess waste from the body with the help of urination, defecation, and sweating. And during that time, if you give a lot of heavy food, body gets overwhelmed. So breakfast should also always be light. And the most nourishing and nutritious and enriching food with all ingredients, fats, carbohydrates, proteins, and all vital elements, all minerals and these things, that kind of complete intake of food, proper heaviest meal should be taken when the sun is at the highest and brightest. That is the time when our digestive system strength is the peak, at its peak. So that is the time you need to have heaviest food. And again, when the sun sets, after the sunset, the digestive system becomes very slow, then you need to have very light food. These things we need to understand, and this will help in proper maintenance of the internal balance which is already there. And there are so many natural urges like sneezing, urge for urination, urge for bowel movement. There are 13 such urges. So all these things are body's attempt to return to harmony, fever, cough, vomiting, loose motions, all these things. So when you try to suppress these natural urges like cough or vomiting or loose motions or urination or bowel movement, or even like this, you feel like yawning, but you're afraid that someone might think it is awkward, and you suppress your yawning, you suppress your sneezing, you suppress all these natural urges that will disturb the harmony like anything. So we need to always understand what are those urges which should not be suppressed. In Ayurveda we call them adharaniya vegas. Vegan adharayed vata vinmutra kshavatru kshudham nidrakasa srimaswasa jrumbha surup chardiretasam. There are 13 different urges, natural urges, which we should not suppress. And there are urges which you need to suppress. They are called dharaniya vegas, kama, krodha, lobha, moha, mada, matsarya. These things are something which you need to suppress. And you need to allow the body to fulfill its urges whenever you feel to have yawning or sneezing or all these natural urges. These things, if we don't do properly, they will disturb the harmony inside the body. So as I've told you, if you sleep at night in the right time, it will help in the repair process, because the melatonin hormone gets secreted in the night time. And if you expose your body to artificial light late in the night, it will not allow the melatonin to get produced inside the body. 13 urges, Ashtoshi. So you feel like having the gas going from the downside. That is one. That is called apanavayu. then the defecation urge, then the urination urge, and the sneeze, thirst, hunger, sleep, and when you do some activity, very intense activity, or run or climb stairs, you feel like breathlessness. That's shamaswasa, the breathlessness you get after doing some physical activity. That should not be held. And yawning, and menstruation, vomiting, all these things are, and this, even the ejaculation, all these things, all these urges, we should not hold them. If you hold them, they will cause a problem. So we need to understand when to get up, when to eat food, when to take proper rest, when to hold the urge and when not to hold the urges. All these things are very important for us to understand and maintain the harmony inside. So body, as I've told, as we have discussed previously, it interacts with the external environment. It is a material unit and it follows all the material laws. So it is very important for us to understand what happens inside the body when various changes take place outside, in the outside environment. So we have this wonderful phenomenon called circadian rhythm. So earth, it rotates around itself in 24 hours and various changes happen. Sun rises, and then the sun rises and becomes bright and it becomes hot, and sun sets, and then the moon rises and it becomes cold, and so many things happen outside. And accordingly, so many changes happen inside our own body. So if we sync our lifestyle and daily routine with the cycles of nature, the solar cycle, the lunar cycle, then we will be able to maintain the harmony and aid the processes which happen inside the body. If we get up early in the morning before sunrise, so many good things happen inside the body. Lots and lots of research is happening. The effect of early rising on human body. And then if you go to bed early in the night, as I've told you, that will help in repairing the body. Similarly, when you get up early in the morning, so the body is so ready to detoxify itself, remove the toxins from the body. But when you wake up after sunrise, when the sun tends to start the metabolism, kickstart the metabolism, that is not the right time to remove the toxins from the body. When should we have the biggest meal, as I've told you earlier? So, and according to the seasonal changes also affect our own body. Sometimes in seasons like winter season, cold seasons, the digestive fire is strong and you will be able to digest even heavy food. And in hot seasons, the digestive fire is very weak and you need more and more fluids. You will be losing a lot of fluids. So kind of food you choose in different seasons also matter accordingly. And the kind of clothes you wear, in the winter season, when you feel very cold, you may not be able to enjoy the very thin, light cotton wear. So it's very important for us to choose the right kind of clothing, the right kind of activity according to various activities. For example, the morning time is the best time to read, to think, to use your brain, to meditate, to you put thoughts on the paper, to do some creative work. That is the best time. And after the sunrise, it is very important for us to, the kapha dominance will be there after 6 a.m. It's very important for us to do some activity, physical activity, move your body, do some activity. That is the best time to do. Similarly, in the evening time also. So we need to choose the right time to do physical activity, right time to have food, right time to have rest, according to the circadian rhythm which gets disturbed if we don't do these things in a right way. What triggers the circadian rhythm inside the body, what triggers the biological clock? Morning, when you open your eyes, the light enters your eyes, that gives a information to the biological clock that this person is awake. Now let us start everything. So accordingly, they start these things early or slowly. But according to the influence of this earth and sun and moon, a different kind of effort will be there. So if we are not planning our lifestyle according to the natural cycles of environment, we are like swimming upstream. We are going against the force of nature. But if we plan the lifestyle in the right way, we are like going along with this the river. We are doing a cakewalk. Life will be very easy. Yeah. So there are so many other things like principle of similarity and dissimilarity, things which actually are opposite quality to your body. For example, if you are kapha prakriti, you tend to accumulate more weight, and you tend to be more cold. Foods which stimulate your body, they'll more help you. If you have excess kapha, there is throat infection, lot of phlegm is there, airways got obstructed. This phlegm, this kapha, the quality of this kapha is cold and viscous and heavy. And if you take something which is opposite to this qualities, like hot and fluid and light, we call them gunas. So take these properties. These properties are there in ginger, these properties are there in tulsi, these properties are there in pepper, and make a decoction and drink. Immediately you'll see that the kapha, excess kapha, will get corrected. Or even some activity like sitting or standing in hot sunlight, which again is hot, light and fast in movement. It will help you get rid of this excess kapha just by standing in the hot sunlight. So these activities which are opposite to the problems which are there right now in our body will help in removing those problems. And things which are similar to this thing, the same kapha will be aggravated if you take more cold food, more heavy food. So things which will have similar properties of the disease will aggravate the disease. Opposite properties to the disease, they will reduce the disease. It's very important for us to understand our own body constitution, what will have a beneficial effect on our own body, and what to choose, what not to choose. And this, if we do it right in a right way, if we respond to the information we get continuously from body and take the right decision according to the information we get, and give the right food, give the right amount of rest, that will keep ourselves always healthy. So this, as a small example of the circadian rhythm, like morning 6 a.m. to 10 a.m., around 8 o'clock is the best time to have a very light breakfast. 12 p.m. is the best time to have a heavy and complete diet. Now, after 2, it is not the right time to have food. It is a time for body to absorb and assimilate and digest the food. And after 6, if you choose to have food, it should be very light, because the sunset has also already happened and the body tends to secrete less and less digestive juices during that time. 10 p.m. is before 10 you need to sleep. Before 9 you need to switch off the lights, because that is a time when maximum secretion of melatonin happens. And during 10 to 2, this detoxification repair happens inside the body. This is the time which is absolutely necessary. The rest during the time is absolutely necessary for us to regenerate and rejuvenate ourselves. And the morning time, early morning time before sunrise, is the time to remove the waste, time to wake up, time to do some creative activity, time to do meditation, time to relax your mind, time to activate your nervous system. All these things the time happen, so according to that particular time, if you plan your lifestyle, life will be very, very smooth, not against the nature. We are going along with the nature. Now we have another principle. We know that body and self are in coexistence. So self is always the in charge. Self makes decisions. Self gives instructions to the body, and body follows no matter what. So self is always the center. Self is always the master. Body is its tool. Body is a wonderful tool. So giving the right instructions to the body is always important. We get some information from the body. If we interpret the information as a wrong way and give wrong instructions to the body repeatedly, even though body has a wonderful capacity to heal itself, constant abuse in the form of giving wrong instructions to the body will someday bring this journey to a halt. It will cause obstructions. So the right guidelines, giving right instructions to the body is very important. So what to eat, whether you want to eat nurturing food or you want to eat junk food. When to eat, when you feel hungry or just because of taste of the food is good, someone has offered, even if it is not the right time, you eat food. How much to eat according to your own age, according to your own hunger, according to the time of the day. And when to stop. If you observe carefully, body will tell you when it is enough. Particularly when you eat completely with awareness, mindful eating will actually give you a proper idea of how much quantity your body needs. Most of us are eating more than what we require, and body is struggling to process the extra food which it doesn't need at all. And if you pay attention to your body's instructions, body's signals, body's information, and process it in the right way, you will be easily able to understand when to stop. You will not take taste into consideration. You will only know that this kind of food, this much is enough. More than this is just putting more load on the body. So we need to understand, self is the deciding factor and body is following. So is it true? Or sometimes because of the sensations in the body which self thinks as favorable sensations and self wants to have such sensations continuously, we continuously try to abuse with some junk food or some wrong activities. So my body, is it a tool to achieve the purpose of my life, or sometimes it becomes bondage? Body becomes a bondage and I become a slave to the sensations. So what's happening? Just observe, pay attention. If you observe, self will be able to see that body is just a tool. It will say, it will do whatever you say. You need to have proper knowledge, and this entire holistic human health course is just aiming at giving you the right understanding and right knowledge so that you will use your body properly. We will not tell you how to use the body properly. We will give you enough knowledge to decide your own lifestyle, your own food, your own rest time, your own exercise time. Everything you will decide by processing the information you get from the body and using your right knowledge to design your own lifestyle. And the next principle is self is also self-organized. Body is self-organized. Self is also self-organized. So when the self is having right understanding and right feelings, it is happy. It feels fulfilled. So it is in harmony with the body. When self is in harmony with the body, obviously self will take the right decision and self will guide the body in the right way. Self will have responsibility towards the body. It will nurture the body properly. It will protect the body properly. It will rightly utilize the body. When the feeling, self is having the right feeling, it will nurture the body, it will protect the body, and it will not disturb the harmony inside the body. But if you don't have the right feeling, then you will not take responsibility for your own body. You feel stressed and you eat panic eating. Whenever there is stress, whenever there is some kind of disturbance, you eat more and more, or you completely starve your body. You wake up a lot, or you oversleep. All these things is like not utilizing your body in the right way, not giving right instructions to the body. The body says, I want to sleep. Body says, I'm feeling still weak. They say, okay, sleep. Body says, this food is, this sensation is right. Okay, eat. So lack of right understanding and right feeling will push you in a wrong way. We are what we eat and we eat what we are. If we don't eat the right food, it will cause different changes inside your body and mind. And if you are not in the right state of mind, you will crave for the wrong food. When you are disturbed, you crave for the junk food, you crave for the bad food, unhealthy food. So it's very important for us to have right understanding and right feeling so that you will take care of your own body in the right way. So Dr. Vaishali wants to ask some question, madam.
Ji, Dr. Vishali, you have raised your hand. You are already having a mic. You can unmute it, sir. And put your question, please. Please, Dr. Vishali.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Good evening.
Good evening.
I just want to know about this thing. Actually, I'm having this thing problem that am I audible?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now I'm 50 plus. So nowadays I'm getting this thing joints pain and rigidness I'm feeling in joints. So what type of food you will suggest for that?
Yeah. See, joint pains indicate some kind of degeneration inside the cartilage and bone, and it is not supposed to happen at the age of 50. Normally it happens after 70, 80, like that. But if it's happening at the age of 50, it indicates that the body is not getting proper nourishment for its skeletal system. Bones and cartilage, they need more and more calcium and other vital nutrients. So eating more and more things which will nourish our skeletal system, like ragi and till seeds, till oil, and curry leaves, and more like milk and other vital sources of calcium and other things which will nourish the bones. Most of the grains which we get other than rice and gehu, other millets like bajra, jawari, ragi, all these things are very rich in calcium and other vital nutrients. So and exposing our body to sunlight will give enough vitamin D. All these things will strengthen our body. This is something which I am telling you in general. But according to your own body constitution, you might need a different kind of food, which can be decided only after understanding your constitution. And a good Ayurveda doctor will be able to suggest the right regimen, right food for you to nourish your skeletal system in a right way. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhaiya. This is due to our lifestyle also, it may be, because as we are working, so we are not getting exposed to sunlight.
Yes.
We are started working at 8:30 and we are leaving at 5 o'clock. So we are not getting exposed to sunlight.
Yes.
That may be the major reason for this.
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
thank you for this.
yeah, welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Ji, Ramnath Mayali, you have raised. Yes, you is unmuted. You can put your
Hello.
question.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible, madam, doctor?
Yes, you are audible, sir.
Yeah. Good. Doctor, I have a small doubt. As you have said, how much the quantity of water to be taken during the middle of the taking food?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the all we have to do is take small sips of water. Whenever the taste changes, it's very important for us to drink a little water, because the taste buds on the tongue, they actually analyze the chemical nature of the food we take, and they will pass on this information to the brain, so that the brain will understand that such and such combination of food is entering the stomach, and after knowing this proper information, it will be able to produce the right combination of digestive juices. So whenever there is a change in the taste of the food, when you drink a little water, it will flush out the attached food particles which are masking the taste buds, and the taste buds gets flushed, and next food item will be properly analyzed by the taste bud, and proper information will be sent to the brain. So that is very important. Whenever you change the taste, little sips of water is important. And it is also important for us to see the consistency of the food. If the food is only solid food, we need to include some kind of liquid food like soups or rasam or buttermilk or sambar or some kind of liquid thing, chas, so that the food which we consume is not just solid food. In a mixer grinder, if you put some coconut pieces and you want to make a chutney and you don't put any water in it, the proper chutney will not happen.
Yes.
Similarly, stomach will churn the food in a right way, and it will turn it into a smooth bolus which will pass through the slim intestines. And for that to happen, liquid food also is needed. For rough estimate is like, if half of your stomach's capacity should be filled with solid food, and 1/4 of the stomach's capacity should be filled with liquid food, and 1/4 of your stomach's capacity should be kept empty for the movement of this food inside the stomach. So this is a rough estimate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. I have one more question, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I put forward, sir?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. Taking water, drinking water, the posture of the body, to stand and take is good, or sitting somewhere taking water is good, sir. Somebody told me that you should not take water in a standing position, sir.
Yeah, this is there in our culture. Whether you eat food or drink water, whatever you do, it is always better to sit, if possible, on the ground while having food or water.
Yes, sir.
So this sitting in a right way will, particularly on the ground, will make us more aware of what's happening inside our body.
Sir.
Okay, when you are sitting, the stomach will sense in a right way when the stomach is full, and it will give us the proper idea.
Sir.
When you are sitting on the ground, it will be more sensitive and more aware of what's happening.
Sir.
So to decide how much water is needed, how much food is needed, whether the food we are consuming is more or less, they say that if you sit, because of the posture, because of the pressure it exerts on the stomach will be sensitive, and it will tell you this much is enough, it is enough, like that.
Yes, sir. I have a doubt in these days we have buffet system. You go to a reception, we walk, we stand and go to one stall.
It is a wrong way of eating food.
Yes, sir. Yes.
In fact, eating food is a very sacred ceremony in our own culture. So we just sit and we focus completely on our food.
Yes, sir.
All our 5 senses are focused on the food.
Yes,
and
sir.
With complete awareness, complete mindfulness, you taste and you observe. You put a food on your mouth and you just feel it.
Yes.
And this will give enough information to the brain to process this food, and it makes this food like a medicine.
True, sir. It is Annam Parabrahma Sarupam, respect for food.
Yes.
Yes, sir. I have one more doubt, sir, or last question, sir. Does it depend upon the age of the man, intake of air, sir, or does it depends upon the capacity of lungs from child to young adults and the old people?
See, lungs can be trained at any age. Even in people with severe lung damage and complete fibrosis of lungs, We have treated such patients, and we could able to regenerate the lungs, and we could able to increase the lung capacity even of such post-COVID patients also.
Yes, sir.
So we can train our lungs at any age, and we can increase the lung capacity at any age, and that is possible, quite possible.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I would like to I would like to put forward my self-exploration, self-experience, sir.
Yes.
I take one lukewarm water before I go to bed. In the early morning at 5 o'clock, I take 2 full tumblers of water, sir. I feel
Yes.
very happy and very healthy also.
Yes.
That is I'm following. You already said in previous talks, sir.
Yes.
Thank you. I pass it on to my students and my colleagues also. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much, sir. That is something called Ushapana, early morning drinking of water.
Yes,
Is
sir.
Rasayana. Rasayana
Yes.
ya Jara Vyadhinashanam. Rasayana is something which will slow down the aging process and helps in regeneration of the body. So drinking early morning before sunrise is very good, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do follow since a long time, and in the last discussion also you recommended the same. May I pass it on to my students, sir?
Sure, sir.
Okay.
Ashutosh ji wrote, we have to earn for health.
Thank you.
Earn.
Yes.
EARN. E is
Yes.
exercise, A is attitude, positive attitude, R is rest, sleep and all proper rest, N is nutrition, protein, vitamin, minerals, good fat, clean air, water,
Yes.
sunlight, all these things comes under nutrition. So earn our health, exercise, attitude, rest and nutrition. Very nice. Nice way.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Yes.
We're looking forward to next Friday, coming Fridays. Thank you.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Very good evening. I just want to ask, there are 2 theories about the eating habits that are being put. So one theory says that you should eat after every 2 hours in small portions, so that your metabolism works. And the other theory says that no, you have to have maximum time between 2 eatings that you have. You should be eating full stomach, and then you should take a long gap, and then you should eat. So which theory is the proper, sir?
See, in fact, in our own tradition, we were eating only twice a day, morning once and evening once. That was our tradition,
Yes,
right? And we used to have wholesome nutrition, and you used to digest it very easily. And this is the right way also, and we know when to eat the heaviest meal. As I've told you already, when the sun is brightest and highest in position, that is the right time to have heaviest food. This is what we recommend. But there are some people with some kind of health disturbances where the body is unable to metabolize the food properly, but still it needs energy at regular intervals, and every 2 hours, every 3 hours, the sugar levels fall down and they become weak or something like that happens. Then doctors recommend them to have something every 2 hours or 3 hours. But this is only recommended in a condition where the body's metabolism is not at all proper. So from this stage, it's always recommended to take your body to a stage where body will be able to survive for longer duration with limited nutrition. So that is the right way of having food. So eating less quantity every 2 hours is not a right way to have food for a healthy person. Of course, it differs from person to person's constitution. For some people, they might need some kind of nourishment every now and then, if not every 2 hours, maybe every 4 hours, something like that. They need some kind of milk or some kind of snacks or something like that. Only some people, for example, Vata people, they might need little nourishment every 4-5 hours. But Kapha people, they don't need. They'll run a longer duration with less. Whenever they have it completely, and then they run for a longer duration. Again, it changes from constitution to constitution. But the right way of having food, particularly the right food, is 2 times or maximum 3 times a day. That is the right way.
Okay, sir. And one more question. Vegetarians generally are falling short of B12. Like I always find B12 deficiency in me. So which kind of food will give me B12?
See, it's not just about B12 or vitamin C or vitamin D. when you have a wholesome food, when you include all the nutrients, all the grains, not just gehu or rice, when you include all the grains which grow near your area, when you include all the vegetables which grow near your area, when you include all the fruits which grow near your area, in your area, and when you give proper exposure of sunlight to the body, so and proper exercise, all these things will make sure that all the vitamins, all the nutrients, all the micronutrients will reach the body, irrespective of the fact that you are a vegetarian. Even if you are a vegetarian person, you will get maximum amount of B12 if you have proper intake of all fruits, all vegetables, and all grains. So I will not suggest one particular food which might increase one particular vitamin. We always say sarvarasabhyaso arogya-karanam sreshtaha ekarasabhyaso roga-karanam. So if you are eating only some choosing only few, like some people say every day I'm eating oats, every night I'm eating fulka. So the only one or two grains, and you are leaving all other grains which are growing in your area, which contain so many other nutrients. So if you're leaving something, then you are leaving some kind of this thing, and which you have to supplement with some other kind of pills or tonics and other things. Yeah.
Okay, sir. Okay, yeah. Yeah, generally we eat only wheat and rice. Yeah, that is what happens. Yeah.
Now you need to explore more nutrients, more grains. There are so many other varieties of grains. Where do you stay? Like which area?
I stay in Mumbai.
Mumbai. So like you might be getting bajra and jowari and
Yeah, we get it. But what happens is, in the house, if everyone doesn't eat, then just to make it for myself, and then generally Ira ka atta, it gets spoiled after. If you keep it for a longer duration, it becomes sour kind of thing. So
I understand.
Otherwise, my mother is a regular eater of this bajri ka bhakri. Like every night she eats it. So
bajra is so good in a lot of iron is there in bajra.
Yes.
And jowari is also very good for bones and the strength. It gives a lot of strength. So only thing is we can find alternatives. For example, if you make an idli or dosa or some different, instead of putting the rava, you can put this bajra or jowar or something like that. You make nice nowadays lots and lots of recipes using these millets are there. So nice breakfast you can make with this thing. A nice khichdi you can make, or something. They don't even know if you cook it in a right way that this is something which is not rice or wheat, if you make it tasty and healthy.
Okay, thank you.